Hey guys, welcome back to Field Trips. So I've got some huge news, big news, biggest news of Field Trips since I announced that I was gonna be moving into this 29-foot toy hauler full-time, traveling the whole country. I have been, let me level with you for a minute, I have been drowning, trying to keep up with 1 or 2 episodes every week. I'm filming it, I'm hosting it, I'm editing all of it. I'm having to deal with the logistics of RV life, having to try to do stuff for my sponsors, try to make a living, doing what I love. And I realized that it's a fine line that you start to walk in doing this. You know, you do what you love for a living, but suddenly you're not just doing it because you love it, you're doing it because you got bills to pay, you got to make a living. So I have been struggling with work-life balance, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I absolutely love what I do. I've never been happier in my entire life, but I've wanted some help for a long time, and I think I may have finally found it. So I have just hired a new intern, assistant, employee, roommate, partner, slash, eventually I'm hoping co-host for Field Trips. It's big news. I'm super excited. Her name is Jamie Costa. You actually, if you follow along with the show, you've already met her. If you'll remember back to the episode on Cape Cod with Columbia Sport Fishing with Mark Costa, that was her dad. She was the first mate on her dad's striper charter fishing boat. I'm Rob.
Hi, Jamie.
Good to meet you.
You too.
He said a line the other night talking about, I can't remember if it was one of y'all's uncles or grandfather or something, but back when men were made of iron and ships were made of wood, that really stuck with me. And your daughter's awesome. She's like a rock star out here. She's a real deal.
A lot of the big burly guys don't respect her.
Right.
At first.
Yeah, right.
After a couple hours, they're like,
Ew.
oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
But they're putting them out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Guys come on all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're the mate." I'm like, "Yeah, sit down." Like, I am.
All right, so we're here at the first spot. Jamie's kind of showing me the ropes right now, showing me how we're fishing for these fish. We're gonna meet Jamie, do a little Q&A with her. I'm gonna ask her some questions so you guys can get to know her. Now in the beginning, she's gonna be mostly just kind of helping me film, helping me with logistics, helping me with planning, the travel, that sort of thing. But you're definitely gonna be seeing her now in just about every episode, and down the road, I would not be surprised if this becomes kind of the Rob and Jamie show, and she's my co-host, kind of 50-50. This girl is the real deal. She knows how to fish. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty. She loves to camp. She's been all over the world. Just a perfect fit. But really, I kind of preface this whole thing. You're about to meet Jamie, like I said. But I tell you all this, the kind of backstory, for a very important reason. I think that fear is what holds people back in life more than anything. Fear of the unknown, fear of what could go wrong. And trust me, I have thought of about 819 ways of how this could blow up in my face, how this could be a complete waste of time, how this could not work out. But if you spend your whole life not doing things, not taking chances, not jumping at opportunities because you're afraid that it might not work out, spoiler alert, you're never gonna go anywhere in life. You're never gonna achieve your goals. You're never gonna achieve your dreams. So I decided to take a chance, go for this opportunity. This is gonna be a huge added expense for me. I did not take this lightly, but I think it's gonna work out, and I think it's gonna change my life, change her life, and change the show. I think you guys are gonna get better content, more content. It's gonna be more enjoyable. Now you won't have to stare at my ugly mug all the time. You'll be able to see Jamie doing this stuff right alongside with me, so I'm stoked. But I'm about to leave right now. I'm currently in New Hampshire. I'm heading down to Cape Cod to pick Jamie up. We're gonna have dinner tonight with her mom, her stepdad, her dad, and her stepmom, and also Jim and Amy, which Jim is her cousin, and they're the couple that put me up during my time in Cape Cod. The whole family's gonna get to interrogate me, drill me, you know, ask me why they should trust me, but I think it's gonna be good. They're all phenomenal people. Yeah, then I'll bring her back here tomorrow. We'll load her stuff up in the trailer, and then we'll be heading to Maine after that. But yeah, I'm probably gonna skip the dinner footage. I don't wanna make it weird and be filming these people, her family, so we'll cut straight to kind of a little Q&A session with me and Jamie Costa, the newest intern, newest addition to the team here at Field Trips, and by team, I mean it's now me and her. So yeah, here's your chance to get to know Jamie. You're gonna be seeing a lot more of her. She's pretty rad. Here she is. It's not awkward. Let's see, is that where you're gonna sit?
It is super awkward.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of... So we have Miss Jamie here with us today.
I understand now why people get like all uncomfortable with being on camera. It's like,
in your face.
what do I do? Like,
What do I do with
they're
my
watching
hands?
me. What do I do with my face? My eyeballs hurt. I want to blink. Like,
No, do not blink. So we're going to ask Jamie a few questions, a few very basic questions, just to let you guys get to know her a little bit better before you start seeing her starting next week's episode. So tell us your name.
my name is Jamie Costa.
Don't worry, they'll get less
I
awkward from here.
am 23 years old from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Born and raised.
From on the Cape.
Yeah,
Not
on the Cape. Not
in
in
the
the Cape. Not in the Cape. On the Cape.
She has scolded me multiple times for saying in Cape Cod.
It is on Cape Cod.
On Cape Cod.
Technically, because it's an island, you're not in an island, you're on an island, but you're in a town.
Sure, I'll allow that one. Sure.
It makes sense. It makes sense, I promise.
So where did you go to school and for what?
I went to Roger Williams University. It's a small university, about 4,000 undergrad in Bristol, Rhode Island. It's between Providence and Newport, and I studied journalism and Spanish, double major.
Nice.
Yeah.
Spanish. Be ready to go to Panama. Besides school in Rhode Island and growing up in Cape Cod, have you lived anywhere else or pretty much?
No, I haven't. I literally was born on Cape Cod, like the hospital on Cape Cod, and grew up there and then went to school for 4 years, and I guess, the RV counts as living elsewhere.
Yeah, right. First time
This is,
really flying far from the nest. That's cool.
yeah.
Where did we meet?
We met on my father's fishing boat called the Columbia. Lots of history there. Yeah, that was, I think, mid-July or something, but yeah, you guys came to do a fishing episode in Mass, which is super unconventional for you, given you always do kayaking.
Right.
So yeah, pretty weird how it all unfolded.
I had no idea that Miss Jamie Costa was going to be
Wasn't
getting
gonna
on
be
the
there,
boat.
yeah.
Right. She showed up and I was like, who's this chick? I didn't invite up forth. Yeah. And you guys hopefully watched that episode. If not, there's a link down in the description. Check it out, how Jamie and I met. How did you like working for your dad?
So the first year, I worked for him for 5 years. The first year was awful. I quit like 20 times and I got fired like 20 times. It was terrible because we didn't really understand how to differentiate work from living together, because
Right.
I lived with him as well as worked with him, kind of like our situation.
Right.
So it was really, really hard at first because we would bring work stuff home and bring home stuff to work, and it was like that church and state, it was hard to separate the two. But then just by the second year we had like an understanding, but yeah, we get along really well. It's something that we're both really passionate about, so it's cool to be able to share that with my dad and see him every day and live with him.
Absolutely, yeah. Your dad's super cool guy. I was wildly impressed, and I thought it was funny. I think I mentioned to you that like you would glance up and he would just like, and
Yeah.
you just start doing something, and I was like, are they like texting and I don't see them? Like or is this telepathic?
We
It was
have
cool.
like our signals, like I'll do like this for like fish, or like he'll do this for the outriggers, or he'll just like point and reel, or point and like go like that, like lay him down, reel it in, like just, yeah.
Right. Well, I'm sure our communication will never get to the point like you and your dad's, but I'm hoping eventually I can be like, and
Yeah,
do
yeah.
something and vice versa. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool, and I think that's going to be one of the bigger challenges, is that separation of work
Yeah.
and life, home life, considering you live in the kitchen / living room / office / field trips headquarters, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a challenge, but
Yeah, I mean, I think,
I'll take some growing pains, but
yeah, for sure. And like I said the other day, I think it's good that I grew up living and working with my father.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for me to kind of differentiate the two.
totally. You just graduated college,
Yeah.
so what in your mind are kind of, why do you think I hired you?
My background in fishing, for sure. Growing up on the water, I'm super familiar with boats. I'm familiar with fish. I'm familiar with gear, not necessarily, spinning gear in freshwater, and I don't know, just like being on the boat, I think it was good for you to see me like in my element, that I am hardworking and I am pretty driven about it and pretty passionate about it. It's something I do love to do, and it's makes me happy, and like all that footage, I'm like smiling like an idiot the entire time. But aside from that, like I did go to school for journalism, so I was trained in editing, I was trained in filming, I was trained in photography, I was trained in interview style, like this stuff, I know how to use the gear, tripods, all that stuff, angles, rule of thirds, like all that stuff, so I do have that background too.
In writing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which, I mean, you obviously don't do like a ton of writing with what you do, but yeah, that could definitely bring another element. I was known as the best writer in my class, actually.
Nice.
So
I'm excited for that.
cool.
I think that's one of the initial ways I think you could really kind of expand what we're doing and how we're sharing the journey is doing some written work since I haven't had time for it historically. That'll be cool. So maybe there'll be a Field Trips blog or something like that coming down the road. Who knows? Jamie has her own blog now, which you should follow. There's a link down to that in the description as well. She'll be kind of sharing her perspective, her thoughts on every state as we kind of move through them. So Jamie is somewhat of a world traveler. She's done quite a bit of traveling, especially for her age. What's the favorite place that you've visited so far?
Oh, I don't know. They're all so different.
All right.
They're all so different, but...
Why don't you name a couple special ones?
Okay, Iceland was super special.
Super special.
Iceland was super special to me. That was awesome. That was like a super adventure-packed, high travel, lots of driving, like up at 4, bed at like midnight type thing. That was super cool, and the views, I like can't even put them into words. Like it was just like a completely different world.
Absolutely.
So Iceland is definitely up there. I'd say the Dominican probably. I spent 2.5 weeks there, but that was not so much like the country as it was like the people in the town that we stayed in. Not a super wealthy town. They live right on the border of Haiti. It's called Restoration, and they share electricity. So like half the town will have electricity one night and half the town will have it the other night.
Wow.
No running water. But they're like so nice, and they do have education. They do go to school. It was like super cool to be there and be a part of their culture. That was like, I'm big into like immersing myself into the culture and like understanding what goes on in the country and just like being a part of that. So that was really cool. I felt like super close with just like the country in general and like the people there. So that was awesome. Chile was cool and Italy was cool too, but I don't know if I'd go back to any of the countries that I just listed just because I feel like there's so much more to see.
Yeah, and that's definitely kind of how I feel. Like some of my favorite trips, people say like, when are you going back to the Pecos River? And I would love to, but at the same time it's like that there's a million other rivers that I could do that on. And same thing with the states as we pass through them. There's going to be tons of stuff that we don't have time to do, can't do, wish we could have done.
Right, and there's adventure in every single
in
state.
everyone, yeah,
So
totally. So we're going through every state. We're starting kind of in New Hampshire, picked you up in New Hampshire, heading to Maine now. What of all the states that you know that we're going to, basically everything but the East Coast, what's the one state that you're kind of like most excited to see?
Someone asked me this the other day, and I didn't know how to answer it because I've heard a lot of things about like Washington, like Texas and New Mexico and Florida, and basically like all the states that like are on the outside of the US, but I've never heard about anything in like the middle of the country. So I think those states are the ones that I'm the most excited for, just because I know nothing about them.
Right.
Like I don't sit down and be like, oh, what does Idaho look like? You know, like I have no idea.
Right.
So I think those states where I know absolutely nothing, I'm the most excited for.
So you haven't been in it too long, but what do you think about RV life, living in the kitchen, living room, office so far? I mean, there's been some challenges. What do you think? Just general thoughts.
I honestly like it. It's a super simple lifestyle, which is something that I like. I'm not very materialistic, and like I said to you when I was like, pitching myself to the job, like I don't have anything. I don't have any like big belongings. Like the biggest thing I brought is my bike,
right?
Which is broken. So
right. It's been dead weight so far,
it's been dead weight. I'm about to leave it here. just leave it.
We'll get it fixed.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging. Like the water doesn't stay hot the whole time, and like
shaving your legs.
Shaving my legs is impossible.
Something oddly I had never really thought about.
Yeah, can't put certain things in the toilet. Like just like little things that you don't think about on a daily basis. Makes you being out here makes you think about it a lot, which is awesome. But yeah, like the small space is fine. The minimal belongings is fine. The lifestyle is fine. Everything. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I love traveling and going to new states and or not even new states, just like new places. So being able to do that, like in your own home, I guess you could say, is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where this started. It was like I was driving around in my truck and traveling all these places, and I would go home and like do laundry for 2 days and then just get right back on the road. And it was like, gosh, if I just could bring my house with me. And that's like when the light bulb went off. And, but it's definitely been it's been a big adjustment for me, and I've got 8, 9, 10 months head start on you, so I've kind of gotten comfortable and in a groove. But I think we'll kind of get this place to where it's more efficient for you. And
Yeah, and I
more
mean,
comfortable
it's
for both of
not
us.
like not efficient.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it works for what it needs to. I
We've made
have
some improvements.
Yeah, for sure. There's no complaints on it. Nothing that's like this needs to be changed right now
Right.
so I can function. But
Right. I had a bunch of reservations and
yeah, so,
concerns and questions and like, this seems crazy. I just met this girl. But it was like all the skill sets that you talked about, your familiarity and comfortable being on a boat and around fish and all that. But it was also that I just got this sense that you weren't very high maintenance. And not that there's really anything wrong with girls that are high maintenance, but it is when you live in this thing, you know. And it takes a special kind of person to like just drop your life and roll with some dude in a trailer.
you've met 3 times.
Right. But then, you know, it's a whole nother thing to do that on top of like committing to this huge adjustment. So
Yeah.
it says a lot about you, and I think that was the biggest reason why I was like, I just gotta go for this, because like finding this person with this kind of combination of attributes is gonna be you're 1 in a million, Jamie. You're 1 in a
Oh,
million.
that's so sweet of you. You're not. No, I'm kidding.
Every time it doesn't.
No, I'm totally joking.
So what's it been like working for Rob, for me, so far?
It's been fine. Honestly.
Permission to speak freely. This is like one of those, someone else should ask you this
Yeah,
question. I
yeah,
should step
yeah.
outside. But
No, I've learned a ton. I've honestly, and like I've said this to people, I've learned more in the last like month and a half than I have from my professors, because like they took us through like little things like this is how you open this is the type of shot you need. It would be like a different thing per year. Here it's like putting all of those together and learning how to do it functionally in like a short time frame. Just learning is really cool. It's pretty fast paced, and I do well with fast paced, hands-on like site work. So
yeah.
it works well for me. I like working with my hands and being outside and everything. And I mean, we get to sleep until 11, so like
Right.
I can't really complain about him being a bad boss, you know?
Right. Yeah, we have pretty loose times. You know,
Yeah.
when we fish, we have to get up super early. So you know, when we don't have to, I'm totally cool with us sleeping a little bit, as long as we get the job done. But no, you've been picking things up just wildly fast, and I've been super impressed with your pace and ability to keep up with everything. And I told you, like, communication's key, and I think we're getting better at that, and just kind of voicing whenever either of us are unsure. Or no, you've been a rock star so far. It's been good.
Thank you.
Where can people find you, like, on social media?
My Instagram is not super big, but it's James. Yeah, it's James Lee _ Costa. My stepdad used to call me James, so I kind of.
I was gonna ask you to explain that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like my friends and family, they'll call me Jay or James. So I like James because it's a dude's name, and I like dudely things. I guess.
Perfect reasoning. I like it.
And the Lee is a middle name, so James Lee, and then _ Costa is my last name. So that's my Instagram handle. And then just like my blog, which is just the same thing, just no underscore. It's jamesleecosta.com. Yeah, and then Facebook. All the links to like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and everything are all on my blog. So
Perfect.
If you go there and click through, it's pretty simple to find.
Okay, guys. Well, you got a little glimpse, a little maybe sight into who James Lee Costa, Jamie Costa is. But we'd like to hear from you. If you have any questions for Jamie, comment down below. I'll answer everyone. I'll have her answer the ones that I can't answer. But we want you guys to get to know her. You're about to be seeing much more of her, starting with next episode when we head to Maine to go harvest some lobster, something I've never done. Jamie does have some experience with lobster. So yeah, we will see you guys there. But comment below. Let us know what you want to know about Jamie. Let us know if you're interested in seeing some more like kind of RV life stuff, what it's like living in the trailer with a 30-year-old dude, 23-year-old girl.
Living in a box with a stranger.
Just met. Yeah, comment below. We'd like to share some of what the RV life is like in this kind of unorthodox dynamics. So
Yeah,
let us know if you'd be interested in seeing that, and we will share some of that stuff with you guys if you are, and if not, no worries, we'll stick to the fishing. But yeah, welcome, Jamie, to the team, to the field trip.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Catch you guys in Maine on the lobster boat.